and welcome to this video for Provincial Instructors Diploma Program 3230 Informal Assessment Strategy Assignment Number 3. My name is Megan McAllister. I chose the classroom assessment technique, also called CAT, called the minute paper, and it has relatively low levels of time and energy required in designing and implementing it. I will be instructing large groups of students in policy, and recall will be important, as well as evaluation of what they are learning. Students will need to ask themselves how well they understand the content, and this minute paper CAT is a simple, quick way for me to assess this. This short instructional video will discuss the strategy and the principles that drive it. It will then cover how it is used and why it is used, both for the instructors and for the students. It will then cover a step-by-step process of how to use the minute paper, which are seen as best practices. Some tips on how the feedback to the learner will be done will be discussed. Lastly, limitations and advantages will be covered. The minute paper is also known as the half-sheet response. And what is the strategy? Well, it is a CAT that is used frequently by college teachers, and it is considered to be a quick, simple way to collect written feedback on student learning. The minute paper is a type of authentic assessment, and according to the Provincial Instructors Diploma Program online course content, there are several characteristics of an authentic assessment that speak to the minute paper. One is it employs a developmental perspective, providing a record of the learner's growth in skills and understanding. And two, it fosters reflection, which essentially asks the learner to reflect on themselves in the learning experience, making for a more meaningful learning experience. How is it used? The instructor takes the last few minutes of the class to have the students respond briefly to some variation of the following two questions. What was the most important thing you learned during the class? And what important questions remain unanswered? Why is it used? Well, for the faculty, it provides manageable amounts of timely and useful feedback for a minimal investment of time and energy. And two, faculty can quickly check how well the students are learning what is being taught, which helps the teacher decide what adjustments or corrections need to make mid-evaluation. For the students get feedback in their minute paper, which helps them learn how experts in a given discipline distinguish the major points from the details. Secondly, students will get their questions addressed in a timely fashion. And third, students must first evaluate what they recall and then come up with a question, self-assessing what they understand and what they don't. In the text, The Art of Evaluation by Fenwick and Parsons, 2nd edition, the authors note that self-awareness is the goal of most learning, and self-awareness develops only through self-evaluation. They also note that without the perspective and feedback of others, we are locked into our own self-reinforcing loops of behaving and thinking. The minute paper is an excellent way for students to gain perspective and feedback from others. When is the minute paper best used? Well, in a lecture or lecture discussion course, in a lab session or study group meeting, a field trip, homework assignment, videotape, or an exam. It can be used at the beginning or the end of a class, serving as a warm-up or wrap-up exercise. And it's suited to a range of class size. Here's a step-by-step process of how to use the minute paper in your class. Choose a focus and when you want to do the minute paper. And then using the two questions or variations, write minute paper prompts. A tip is try it on a colleague first. Next, set aside approximately 5 to 10 minutes for class to do the minute paper. A tip is make sure to leave time for discussion. Next, before class, write down one or two at most minute paper questions on a chalkboard or overhead projector. Hand out index cards or half sheets of scrap paper. Tip is, instruct students to leave off name, as this is most often unnecessary. Last, tell students how much time they have and what kind of answers are required. For example, one word, simple phrase, or short sentence. What are some pros of the minute paper? Well, it provides immediate mid-course feedback to instructors, and it allows a quick response to students. In a college classroom where time is short demand, having immediate feedback is advantageous. The responses, even from a large class, can be read, tabulated, and analyzed quickly, and with limited effort. And by using the minute paper, faculty are showing respect and interest in the students' feedback and encourages active listening and engagement. Last, feedback from the minute paper provides students an opportunity to compare their learning with their classmates. What are some cons? If overused or poorly used, students may interpret the minute paper as a gimmick. And it is not easy to prepare questions that can be immediately and clearly comprehended and quickly answered. It is important to discuss how the instructor will provide the feedback. The instructor should let students know they may not be able to answer each minute paper question. You don't want to set up expectations. Also, the teacher may find the minute paper question responses to be somewhat disappointing. So it is best to wait till you have processed feelings of disappointment before you respond. In conclusion, the minute paper is a simple to use, versatile, and useful cat for assessing learning. It covers multiple teaching goals, and it has a wide range of uses.